Alright, goldfish or Cheez-It?
Definitely Cheez-It. If you don't pick Cheez-Its, I'm gonna...
Loser.
Bro, what? It has way more cheese.
Yeah, but do they smile back at you?
I can't say anything. I can't say anything. You got it. You got it.
What is going on, everybody? I'm your average gamer. Of course, as always, I hope you're having a fantastic day. And in this video, we are going to talk about whether or not if you should play Warzone 2. I definitely put a lot of time into the previous Call of Duty, probably maxing out just under 60 days played, whether it was like 30 days played on Rebirth or Warzone, and then 30 days played on multiplayer. I've always played Call of Duty. I've played it since MW3. That was one of my very first Call of Duties that I really got into, and then of course I went back and played the older ones, the newer ones, and then kind of just had these mixed emotions since. But I feel like as a Call of Duty fan, all of you guys can relate to that. Everyone has a preference when it comes to Call of Duty. Mine has always been Modern Warfare in general, so it's crazy the fact that even after 10 years, here I am, still playing the same genre of games. The first thing that I want to talk about is the difference between this Modern Warfare and the previous one. So even though I have all that time played into the 2019 Modern Warfare, I didn't thoroughly enjoy it. I didn't play Call of Duty for years, so to come back to a first-person shooter that felt great, the guns felt good, the maps were cool, you know, it was a good feeling. It kind of re-sparked that flame. After putting so much time in the 2019 Call of Duty, of course I was one of those people that got really used to the movement, the sliding, the stimming, you know, all that stuff. A lot of the things that people complain about in this game. Now at first glance, I was the exact same person where I was like, you know, you can't really move. It's a lot slower, stuff like that where you would just hear me complain. Now, fast forward 2-3 days later, I changed my entire mentality, my playstyle, and all of that. I went from getting that mentality of, oh, I want to drop 25-30 kills to be like, man, I just want to enjoy the game. You know, like, this game is fun. I have fun. For some reason, I keep going back to it. But if you sit here trying to be the super sweat in this game, I don't think you're going to have an amazing time. But that doesn't mean you won't have fun. One thing that's really starting to grow on me is the fact that they put a lot of emphasis on the Battle Royale instead of putting a lot of emphasis on running and gunning like it was in the previous Call of Duty. Immediately when I started to play this game, I noticed that you gotta hit early rotations, you have to focus on your positioning, you have to know what's going on around you. You can't rely on spamming UAVs to watch your back and just having this crazy good aim, beaming everybody 24/7. Granted, you can still do that in this game, but if the other team has good positioning, you won't be able to beam people across the map like you would typically do. So even though that the time to kill in this game is insane, you can absolutely shred people from across the map. If you are around cover by a building or whatever it is, they shoot you a few times, you get back into cover. Now if you're trying to slide cancel and stim your way, focus on movement like it was in the previous Call of Duty, you're gonna get caught and you're gonna die. Yeah, I got the gas mask.
Yes, this game does promote camping, and as somebody that hates that, I really do hate that so much. It can make the game very dynamic. There's been multiple times where me and my friend or even my brother are out here trying to clear a building, and accidentally we're doing it like Marines or part of a SWAT team or whatever, because we're crouch walking, we have to check every corner, we don't want to be loud, we don't know how many people are in this building. Like, there's so many different rooms where he'll go in first and I'll go in the room following him next, and just slowly clearing it. And it paints this atmosphere of, like, I don't want to say real war and disrespect a lot of the people that fight in real combat, so that's not at all what I'm trying to do, nor do I have the experience to even say that. But the whole thing that I'm trying to say is, out of all the Call of Duties, I've never played one that made me have this atmosphere feeling of, wow, this is pretty real. You know, whether it's these blown up buildings and you're trying to just walk through them and clear, make sure that they're okay, so you can sit there for the next rotation and just wait of these enemies just bombarding you, trying to rotate. And after, there's a lot of really fun things in this game that even in the previous Call of Duty couldn't have done as well. I'm actually just really surprised where I'm enjoying this game as much as I am. Because at first glance, I was like, dude, this is just camping simulator. Nobody moves, you know, like it's very, very slow. And like, look at the screen. Like, there's a dude just laying down in some random building. But that can be super exciting. Not if you really get killed by that guy. But my blood was pumping in that situation, you know. And my blood was pumping towards practically every last circle fight. Where I felt like in the last game, there would be like 2 teams maybe fighting, maybe 3. This game, like, you'll hear in the last circle 4, 5, 6 gunshots from a bunch of different directions. There's like 24, 30 people still alive, and the circle is not that big. You know, so like they put a lot more, again, emphasis on the final fight or just team fights. Can you still go crazy as a solo? Probably. I'm not the type of person to even experiment with that, right? But I'm having just a good time winning. Now that's something I never really cared too much of in the previous game, where it's like I never really cared about winning. I wanted to drop, like I said, 25, 30 kills. This game makes you feel good after winning, because you put in all this time, you worked really hard on your positioning, and it just pays off. I don't know how else to explain it. You know, it's one of those games where I don't have to do well to feel like I did well. Does that make sense? You know, a lot of people are going to sit here and be like, oh, you know, this game is for old men. It might be. This game probably isn't for a bunch of 14-year-old Adderall crackheads running around trying to 360 on top of a building. But it does offer a really unique experience. I understand a lot of people's point of views, though, I really do. And I feel like a lot of people just don't like change. And I get that personally. Here I am, 25, started playing Call of Duty when I was 14, and think about all the changes Call of Duty's made. Now, I didn't play Call of Duty all that much after MW3. I played a little bit of Black Ops 2, but you know, I was always invested into so many other things. But I understand where people are coming from. You know, you get so attached to this one thing, or you get so good at this one thing, you put a lot of time into it, but you don't want to let it go, or your views on it are different, because when you play a different game, you don't have that time played, so it's like it's going to feel different, it's going to not click with you immediately, and that's how it was. Here I am thinking that I'm over Call of Duty, right? And out of any game mode, Warzone 2's Battle Royale is something that I'm enjoying, and it's bringing this newer life into me. Is it something I can play all day? Fuck no. Okay, because I would lose my mind. But my friends hit me up, we play 2, 3, 4 hours. I have an amazing time, okay? There's a lot of jokes going on. There's a lot of just epic gunfights. You know, that's another thing, too, that I really like, where, if your team needs help or something, right, and you're in a position to kind of help them, these fights feel so cinematic, where we're on a building and another team's on a building and one of our team goes down, so now we're trying to res them while also still holding off the enemy team. And again, it's just the scenery around you. There's a bunch of bullets flying. It's pretty cool. I don't know how else to explain it. You know, is this game going to be for everybody? No, but it can be if you just open your mind to it. Anybody can play this game and enjoy it. I know for a fact that this game is going to get so much hate based off of the old Call of Duty and the old map for Dansk, and how the other game was better because it did this and this. And listen, it's just because you're used to it and it's the original, okay? That's how a lot of people are going to feel about practically anything about its original, right? Man, like, you just gotta get over it. You can continue to play the other Call of Duty, nobody's stopping you, but you're gonna miss out on a good time. You know, if you want to keep stimming and sliding and doing all that crazy stuff, all that crackhead stuff for another 3-4 years, I'm telling you right now, I'm starting to grow arthritis in my fingers after doing all that for so much. And you know, I like not having to sit there and actually sweat and try so hard to potentially kill a team. I like the slow down, take your time, move methodically, move as a team, breach and clear type of playstyle. I'm enjoying it very much. I also think that whole old man playstyle, or like, oh, this is meant for old men, and this is meant for bad players, it's such a cop-out type of response to you being like, I just can't adapt. This is not the same game. You can't expect to do the exact same things you're doing in the previous Call of Duty, nor should you want to. You know, why would you want a copy and paste game? You know, at first glance, you might look at it and be like, you know, this game is that, but it's not. Like, to me, this is a completely different Call of Duty, different dynamic, different
perspective on how to play the game. And you know, a lot of people just hate change, like I said. So that's where the uncomfortability factor comes in. Of you know, it's the game's fault. Just go ahead and give it a try. Give it multiple tries. You might hate it and then like it. You might like it and then hate it, but you won't know unless you actually give it a shot. I've already made up my mind. I'm not going to sit here and say that I love the game and that's the reason why I keep playing it, but there's certain aspects of the game that I do love. Certain aspects of the game that I hate. I hate waiting 5, 10, 15 minutes looting. I feel like nothing is going on. But then I love that high octane, that high adrenaline rushing gunfights where there's like 5, 6 teams left in the last circle and it's closing in. It's just non-stop and you can die in a blink of an eye, so you can't make mistakes. And as much as I hate the TTK, it puts a lot of emphasis on surviving. Like, don't get shot, don't die, don't make sure you're not out in the open. If you are, do you have smoke so you can you go to a different cover? That's one thing I pointed out to my friend the other day, is I've never used smokes in such a useful way in Battle Royale than this game, ever. I've never used them in the previous Call of Duty like I am now, where it's like, okay, I'm on top of a building, we gotta rotate to the next one, smoke the street, smoke the door that we're gonna run into, so that the team that's inside the building that we're on top of can't shoot us. It's just, again, like, it's a whole different dynamic, and I really enjoy that. Anyway, that's going to do it for my video. If you enjoyed, go ahead and smash that like button. That would mean an absolute ton. And be sure to check out all my other content. I'm on a God of War grind right now, so be sure to check that out. As always, I love y'all, and I hope you guys stay smooth. Peace.
Team wipe, right?